Hi, you guys. We've started chapter 2. Chapter 2 is a lot about graphing quadratics, which you'll think is review, which is wonderful. So let's start. This is 2.1 is a 2-day lesson. And so this is part A. So vocab, parabola. A parabola is the shape, the U shape. Let's do that. That's even better. The U shape made from graphing a quadratic equation. Okay. Let's see if this is better. All right. And you know what? I decided. Hold on. Let's see. Do you like that better? I could go like this.
I'm never going to be friends with Logan.
It's my daughter. Okay. Parabola. Awesome. A quadratic function. A quadratic function is a graph, a function with an x squared. That's how you know it's a quadratic. It has an x squared in it. It's not linear. It has an x squared instead of just like an x. All right, so here we go. We are going to do both sides of this worksheet. Now you already know this, right? This HK, but did you know that it was called vertex form? The reason it's called vertex form is because my vertex, well, let me label everything. The A is whether I'm going to do like a, the direction it opens. So if it's a negative, it would be a downward. If it's a positive, it would be upward. And it also, based on the number, it's either stretched or compressed. And here's this. If the number itself, A, is greater than 1, if it's a whole number, then the graph is stretched. It's narrow. It's closer to the y-axis. If the number itself is small, like it's a fraction, the graph is compressed, and that's fatter. It's going to get wider. All right, an H is my vertex, my x value. So first of all, it's a horizontal.
Show me E's.
Could be left or right. I want to remind you that it's the opposite sign, remember? And it's the x value of vertex. Okay. Okay. The x value of my vertex. My k is going to be a vertical translation. That's either up or down, right? And it's the y value of my vertex. So HK is my vertex. I also wrote that you need to pay attention to the sign of H, because if H is like x plus 2, then I'm going to go 2 to the left. It's the opposite sign. All right. If A is negative, the parabola opens downward. If A is positive, the parabola opens upward, right? So here we go. The vertex is this H, and then K is here. I have a child that's super disrupting me right now. Okay. HK. That means that my vertex is going to be -2, 0, because there is no K. So that would be, I mean, you never write +0 for the K, but that's what it would be if you weren't sure. -2, 0 is right here. Now, there is no A, which means it's my normal parent function over 1 up 1, over 2 up 4. I could do over 3 up 9, but that's a lot. Let me write that down. Parent function. Again, this is like, I need to stop writing this. You need to know this by now. 2 to the left, 4 up, 1 left, 1 up, 0, 0 is my vertex. So remember, over 1 in both directions, up 1. Over 1, up 1. Over 2 from the vertex in both directions, up 4. Start your vertex. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the parabola gets wider and wider and wider and wider as it goes. Okay. Number 2, x squared plus 4. Okay, there's no h. My vertex is 0, 4. So graph that. Again, over 1, there's no a. Over 1, up 1. Over 2, up 4. Over 1, up 1 in both directions. Over 2, up 4 in both directions. Okay. Connect the dots, la 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 la. Let's leave it there. I think when I move it, you can see me move it, right? I think. 1/2, and it's negative. First job, what's the vertex? -2, HK. -2, 0. This was just K. Sorry, I forgot to put that. And so I had one like that already, where the vertex was -2, 0. All right, here's I'm gonna write it a different way. I want you to be able to see both ways. I've already given you a table of values, but now since A equals -1/2, I know it's gonna be downward because it's a negative, right? Then watch this. If I have, this is my parent function, okay, then this is what's going to happen. -1/2 y. So I'm basically multiplying the y value by -1/2 by a, but I know it's downward. So even if you forget about the negative sign and you just multiply the y value by 1/2, you still need to remember, oh, I'm going downward, no upwards. So a -2 multiplied by 1/2 would not be 4 anymore. It would be well, I'm going to go down 2, so I'll put a negative in front of it for this one, okay? -1, 1 times -1/2, -1/2. Do you need me to put this math over here? 4 times -1/2. 1 times -1/2. Do you need that math? I'm not sure. 0, 0. That means I'm not going to move from the vertex when it's just a normal. 1, -1/2. 2. Okay, so here we go. There's my parent function, okay? Downward, right here. From my vertex, I'm gonna go 1 to the left and right, down 1/2. So from my vertex, move from the vertex. I'm even gonna highlight that to make sure that you got it. Okay, here we go. 1 to the left and right, 1/2 down. That's kind of hard to do. Careful. 1 to the left and right, 1/2 down. Remember, this has a fraction. It's gonna be really fat. 2 in both directions. 2. Just 2 down. Okay. Connect the dots, la, 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 la. It gets fatter, okay? If you need to pause for any reason, anytime, just go ahead. All right, so now let's go to the back side. A 2. Oh. Okay, I hope that we're back. Okay. A whole number 2, stretched. Vertical stretch by 2. My vertex, I hope you know it. +1, -3. There it is. My parent function, now, since I have a vertical stretch of 2, that A is a 2, I'm going to multiply my Y value times 2. So it's going to be -2, 4 times 2, 8. -1, 1 times 2, 0, 0. 1, 2, 2, 8. It's going to be really, really narrow and skinny. Here we go. 1 to the left and right, 2 up. Okay. 2 to the left and right from my vertex, 8 up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so here's my skinny with a 2 as my A. Would you like me to draw in purple the parent function? The parent function, if I had it starting at 1, -3, would be over 1, up 1, over 2, up 4. So I'd already have this. If the purple, if you wanted to see what the parent function looks like, that's my normal parabola, but my pencil is my stretched by 2. It's narrow. It's very narrow, okay? All right, now we're going to determine the key features of a quadratic function. Here's all that you need to know. What's the vertex? The vertex is basically like the turning point of the parabola. Sometimes, like if it's an upward facing parabola, this is the minimum, the lowest point. So my vertex would be like, help me find out the minimum. If it were an upside down parabola, this vertex would be my maximum, the highest point of my parabola. So maximum or minimum, the maximum is the highest point, the minimum is the lowest point, right? My axis of symmetry. It's x equals h. It's like the x value of my vertex. Domain. This is going to be the x values in my graph. Many times, like, well, all the time in a parabola, it's going to be all real numbers. My range, however, is going to be determined by however high or low I go, like my k, right? So right here, my range for this one would be like -3, infinity. Remember, you go from low to high. So number 3 example, my range is low to high, negative infinity to 0. But my number 4 range would be negative 3 comma infinity. So it just depends on if it like has a maximum or a minimum, okay? Which, you know, was my K. So I'm even going to put the letter K next to range. All right, number 5. What are the key features? Okay, my vertex, check it out. HK, right? Positive 3, 4. Axis of symmetry. The X value of my vertex, X equals 3. It's a line, it's a dotted line. Let me draw those in right now. I'll even do it with like a color. I guess I can do something different. You might not be able to see orange. So, okay, 3 comma 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. My axis of symmetry is going to be X equals 3. That's this line right here. You always make it a dotted line. It's the line of symmetry. It's going to cut my parabola in half, right? My maximum and my minimum. Well, I need to graph it first. Oh, it has an A. A is 2. I just did one where A was 2. Ready? Positive 2, upward facing. Negative 2 and 2, 8 up. 1 and negative 1, 2 up. And I start at my 0, 0, which is my vertex. So my vertex is not at 0, 0. You know that, right? My vertex is 3 comma 4. I move from the vertex, 1 in each direction, 2 up. 2 horizontally in both directions, 8 up. So I'll do it. Here we go. There we go. 1 in both directions, 1 up. 2 in both directions, 1, 2. Oh, I can't even make it 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know. There's fine. I'll go off the graph. 1, 2, up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's fine. Here we go. This is going to be narrow, stretched by a factor of 2 because my A was 2. Now that I've graphed it, I can figure out everything else. So my domain is going to be all real numbers. Oh, you know what I missed? Max and min. Okay, well, there's all real numbers. Does it have a maximum or a minimum? Does it have a bottom low point or does it have a high point? Sorry, my document camera keeps. Okay, I think I'm back. So it has a low point. It has a minimum. Min, I'll just put min. And my minimum is 4. Okay. My range. Start low, go to high. 4. Infinity, right? Good. All right, next question. So I can graph and I can write some key features. What is the equation of a quadratic function with the vertex of negative 2 comma 3, that's my h and my k, and a y-intercept of 0 comma 1? That means that the y-intercept is on my parabola. Any point on my parabola is a solution. A solution means that the point will plug into my equation. That means that I have an x and a y value that is a solution to my parabola. I'm going to use hk and 0 for x and negative 1 for y and plug into vertex form to find what a is. So I'm going to use x, y, hk. X, y, hk. HK, XY. Here we go. we know that this is our, ready? Here we go. Instead of y, I'm going to put what I know a point on my graph is, a y point, -1. Instead of a, oh, I'm solving for a. I don't know if it's like stretched or compressed. Instead of x, I'm going to put, oh, I know a point on the graph. That's a solution, 0. H is -2. Be careful. Minus h. H is -2. -2. Do you want me to put it in parentheses for you so you know? Plus k. K is 3. I plugged in h, k, x, y. Y, x, h, k. Solve for a. -1 equals. Go ahead. 2 squared is 4. Subtract 3 both sides. A divide by 4, this +4 to get a alone. So here we go. A is -1. X plus 2 squared plus 3. That's my final equation. So if you're only given partial information and you have to find out the full vertex form, this is how I do it. Plug in what you're given. Now, since I've done this like changing ways, and you're watching this video before you come to class, I'm going to, we're going to work together on the homework, which is in the workbook, okay? So I'll stop the video and I will see you in class. Chapter 2, Section 1, Lesson 1, Part A. Okay, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.